But Mr. Obi has crossed the line so many times. And I think that at this point, he has coming to him whatever he gets, he needs to manage it.
Hello, great people. Presidential candidate of the Labour Party in the 2023 presidential election, Mr. Peter Obi, has cried out that his life and that of his family is under threat for daring to criticize the government of President Bola Tinubu. You will recall that a few days ago, Mr. Peter Obi addressed the media about the state of the nation, where he had strong words for President Bola Tinubu and his government about their performance. And in that particular broadcast, if you recall, Mr. Peter Obi said President Bola Tinubu has spent 180 days out of the 580 days of his presidency in the diaspora. That President Bola Tinubu has made foreign trips, 30 foreign trips, within a space of about a year and a half. So he had a lot of strong criticisms for the president. And also, in that broadcast, Mr. Peter Obi referenced that the Bola Tinubu presidency have been after him, that they have been hunting him because people have refused to associate with him based on the fear of being hunted by the administration of Bola Tinubu. Let's hear from Mr. Peter Obi before we come back to look at the response of the APC, the action of the presidency. Then we dissect the issues around all these controversies. Let's watch what Mr. Peter Obi said during his State of the Nation address. Let's watch it.
Oppositions here are actually in difficulty. If I tell you what I face, what I go through, what my family go through, you wouldn't even believe I will still be standing and going around this country. But I've made up my mind that if this is the end, so be it. Because we can't allow the country. It is difficult to be in opposition in this country. Extremely difficult. Because everything is against you. People don't even want to see you. They don't even want to talk to you. I see colleagues that greet them at the airport, they don't even want to reply because they feel they don't want the government of the day to see you or see them greeting you. Your businesses, everything you're involved is being dismantled. That is not a country.
There you have it. During the State of the Nation address, Mr. Peter Obi accused the presidency of Bola Tinubu of haunting him and that the people close to him are no longer free to move with him. Now, the APC spokesperson, Felix Morka, gave a response to Mr. Peter Obi, and he has some strong words for Mr. Peter Obi. Now, let us hear what Felix Morka said before we come back for more discussion. Let's hear from Felix Morka.
He just, shoots widely like, what we used to see in movies back in the day, in the Wild Wild West. He is not being rational. He's absolutely irrational in his thinking and in his public commentary for a man who was governor for 8 years, who left nothing to remember in Anambra State by way of a legacy or transformation. But all of a sudden, he served as governor 8 years. He didn't have the wisdom or the smarts to change Anambra State, to make Anambra the beacon, that example of, governance in the country. But then, he runs for president, in 2023. And then now, he didn't win. He's sulking rather than actually get a perspective and, figure out what he did to lose so he can do better in the future. He would think that he can bring down the government by simply, being maliciously deceptive. That is wrong. I'm not somebody to, to go on that offensive in that manner. But Mr. Obi has crossed the line so many times. And I think that at this point, he has coming to him whatever he gets, he needs to manage it.
There you have it. Based on this response of Felix Morka, Peter Obi has cried out that the Tinubu boys, people that are loyal to Bola Tinubu, that they have been threatening his life and that of his family. We see what we can look at on this issue is that, first, I think the administration of President Bola Tinubu needs to learn how to welcome criticisms. And I think these people need some refresher course on how to how to govern. The people that are under Bola Tinubu, his boys, I think they need a refresher course on how to govern, because criticisms is part of what the opposition is meant to be doing. The opposition is not meant to come and praise you so that you can get more votes during the election. No, the opposition is to critique you. The opposition is to put you on your toes. And that is what Peter Obi is doing. So I think the people in the Tinubu presidency and the friends and loyalists of Bola Tinubu needs to learn how to welcome criticism, because every day in government is a set of precedents. So if you don't rule well, or you like Bola Tinubu and you are not encouraging him to rule well, tomorrow you will have a president that you don't like. And Bola Tinubu would have set a precedence of misgovernance, of mediocrity, of ineffectiveness, and that person will just follow the pattern. And as at that time, if you are not crying foul, nothing will change, because the culture of, hey, shut up, let government just operate the way it wish would have gained ground. And that's what people will be telling you at that point in time. So the people in government needs to learn how to welcome criticism. Then another thing we need to look at is Peter Obi wrong in any of his assertions about the government? When he said President Bola Tinubu has done 30 trips within the space of a year, and there are 30 foreign trips, is he wrong? If he's wrong, come out with opposing fact and say, no, Peter, you are wrong. I think that is how to go by this thing. When he says that the president should try and focus on infrastructure, try and visit hospital, is he wrong? When he said that the president should try and take his next medical health care and checkup in any of the federal hospitals, is it a bad idea? Is he wrong? So if you look at it, what is exactly wrong in the assertion of Peter Obi? So if you think that his assertion is correct, or you don't have any strong rebuttal, any empirical fact to reboot his assertion, the best thing for you to save yourself the embarrassment is to just keep quiet. I think that would have been the best. But for you to come and say, oh, you are now threatening Peter Obi, I think is an embarrassment taken too far. And these people need to be very careful, because they are causing the president and embarrassment is becoming one too many. And they need to be very, very careful. And I think the president himself needs to call them to order, because in this kind of instance, what I expect Felix Morka to do is to counter Peter Obi with facts. And if you can't counter Peter Obi with facts, I expect him to state what government is doing. Peter Obi has said that government should cut costs. What is government doing? Peter Obi has said government should encourage production. What is government doing in that regard? Peter Obi has said that government should invest more in infrastructure, should provide succor to the people, should address economic hardship. What is government doing in that regard? I don't know the kind of people that we have in governance in Nigeria. Like, all these things are just like A for apple. Peter Obi has come up with his own assertion, come up with contrary facts, or say what government is doing. You don't need to threaten him, because there is a Tinubu in a Peter Obi. Because if everything had gone right for Peter Obi, he would have been the president now. So I think people in government in Nigeria, they make governance very difficult. They end up embarrassing their principle, and they don't even know the basis of government. And that is why almost everything in Nigeria is upside down. Because the people that are supposed to man government, you go and put them maybe in the farm. The people that are supposed to be in the farm, you put them, in crucial sectors of the government. Because somebody like this, Felix Morka, based on his reaction, to my mind, should be like a farmer. Because it is very simple, it is very elementary, it is very basic. Counter Peter Obi with fact or what government has done. So don't come and start threatening him. Or no, you are just embarrassing yourself. And at the end of the day, you are embarrassing the government. Another thing we need to look at that I can advise is, instead of embarrassing yourself, why not keep your eyes on the ball? In the sense that if you want to be responding to everything the opposition says, you'll be distracted. And the prayer of the opposition is for you not to perform. The prayer of the opposition is for you to be distracted. The prayer of the opposition is for people to lose affection for you. So it's not everything that you respond to. If you don't know how to respond, you don't have facts, or you don't have something to say that will be convincing, keep your eyes on the ball. Focus on helping the president to achieve his renewed hope agenda. Wherever the president needs assistance, give him assistance. What assistance has this Felix Morka or some of these guys, that are power-centric, what assistance have they given to the president in terms of genuine assistance? other than to just abuse both the real and imaginary enemies of the president. Instead of doing that, keep your eyes on the ball. If you are playing football and you want to go and score a goal, which is for you to win back in 2027 and to fulfill the renewed hope agenda, you need to keep your eyes on that ball as you are running. But if people are abusing you, if people are talking, if people are saying over the bar, and you remove your eyes from the ball to look at those people, definitely the opponent will snatch the ball from you. So you want to imagine that you cannot come up with a contrary fact, you cannot come up with what government is doing, still you cannot keep quiet to keep your eyes on the ball. That to me, you know, is so distasteful. And I think that President Tinubu needs to call some of these people to order for them to stop embarrassing him, because at the end of the day, he is the greatest loser, because Tinubu is contesting against his performance and the opposition in 2027. When you are an incumbent president, you are contesting against two things. You are contesting based on your track record in office, your performance, and also your opposition candidate. And the worst part of it is people have something to judge you by. They already have a script to judge you whether you are competent or not, whether you are deserving of their vote or not. But the opposition that has not occupied that particular office, they don't have anything to judge that person other than his campaign promise. So Tinubu himself should call these guys to order, because at the end of the day, he will be the greatest loser. In 2027, he will be contesting against his performance and also his opposition. Now, on a final note, Peter Obi says that people are refusing to associate with him because of politics. Well, Mr. Obi, what do you expect? I've said it on this platform in some of my videos that power is magnetic. Success is magnetic. So if you don't have power, if you are not successful in a political contest, of course, people will naturally migrate to the person that is in charge, to the person that holds the power. For more lessons on this, go and ask Lord Jonathan. Immediately he lost the election, people decide to abandon him, and people immediately started aligning with Buhari. Tomorrow, Mr. Peter Obi, if you win election, these same people will rush back towards you. So for me, Peter Obi shouldn't be surprised. People themselves should not be totally blamed, because in Nigeria, politics is an over-influential and over-profitable exercise. In the sense that people that hold the political power, they can do and undo. Their words are the law. Their desires are the law. If they wake up and decide that they want to come and demolish your house or they want to ruin your business, there's virtually little or nothing you can do. And politics in Nigeria is an overly profitable exercise. You cannot gain much if you collect contract from a private individual than when you collect it from the government. So you see that everybody wants a taste of the cookie in the jar. Everybody wants to lick the icing on the national cake. So Mr. Peter Obi shouldn't be surprised that people are abandoning him. He should focus, he himself. I would advise him to keep his eyes on the ball. If he wins the election, if God says he will lead this country, those people will rush back towards him. It's been an interesting time with you on this episode of Politing with Dr. Omoshola Deji. Dr. Deji is a political scientist with a PhD in political science, and this is where we relax to analyze politics and happenings in the polity. Do want to subscribe, turn on your notification button, catch up with my past videos, and I'm also on Facebook and on TikTok. Till I see you again, always remember that I love you all sincerely.